All right. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Tomboy Official, guys. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. Yeah. Some maybe a little positive news about some local experiences in LA. Just kind of noticing that there seems to be some more queer populations around town. This evening I went to the gym finally. I mean, I went Thursday too, but I haven't been going all that much, and it's just nice to get out. I've got an old car I'm using, and so I wanted to kind of start it because I guess we had a couple instances during the past week where the car wasn't fully, it wasn't like fully starting. Well, it was, but it was a little, it seems like the battery, basically, because we don't like run it every day. I think my mom moves it once a week when she takes the trash cans in and out. You know, like my mom does a lot of housework and outdoor work. It's kind of her thing. She knows if it gets like too intense or if she's too overwhelmed or whatever, she can let me know. I'll pitch in. I don't really mind. It's just, you know, I let her kind of do her own thing. She's got her own routines and stuff, and so she kind of does the trash day stuff and, you know, all that kind of thing. You know, she likes to be busy and like have a schedule and routine, and doesn't like to just like sit watching movies all day and stuff. So, you know, she has her whole routines. I don't want to like disrupt it. But yeah, she's only really moving the car once a week. And then, I mean, that battery is pretty new. We got the battery when I got COVID. So that was like near, probably just before like August 1st or something around that time period. I wanted to talk about something real quick, and then I'll be getting into the stories we tell workbook, couple pages. But I feel like, you know, those episodes, you know, I feel like they don't really capture a lot of attention or traction, so either people don't like them or it's just not interesting. But it helps me, that's why I like to record them. But I'm getting a little distracted here because I'm trying to go on Instagram and find this link that I sent to some people, and I can't quite find it. Oh, I think I know where it is. Okay. So it says application opens March 1, 2023. Mental Health Fund. About the Mental Health Fund. So basically, this article it basically says the Mental Health Fund, MHF, for queer and trans, Black, Indigenous, and people of color began as a pilot project in 2017 in response to the increased violence, threats, surveillance, and instability following the presidential election of 2016, the MHF provides financial assistance to queer and trans, black, indigenous, and people of color to increase access to mental health support for QTBIPOC, basically queer, trans, bi, people of color. And it says the program is designed to address the economic barriers inherent in healthcare and the mental health system. We are excited to announce that we will be accepting applications for the MHF from March 1 to March 31st, 2023. The details. There's a lot of details. The Mental Health Fund provides financial support for up to 8 sessions with a psychotherapist. Applicants can request up to $100 per session. In order to apply, you will need to identify as a queer and trans, black, indigenous, and people of color, live in the United States, have or find a therapist who agrees to participate in this program. Applicant must provide the MHF intro letter for therapists to their practitioner, require financial assistance to pay for psychotherapy. For help finding a therapist, please check out the resources below. They have NQTTCN, Mental Health Directory, Latinx Therapist Action Network, Therapy for Black Girls, Latinx Therapy Directory, going to therapy as a QTBIPOC without being harmed, erased, or baffled. Although the MHF was designed to support QTBIPOC working with QTBIPOC practitioners, funds can be used to access services from competent non-QTBIPOC clinicians chosen by the recipient. The National Queer and Trans Therapists of Color Network is a fiscally responsible project of social and environmental entrepreneurs, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. All donations are tax deductible. So this sounds cool. And I'll put the link below. But yeah, it's there to be helpful for people. Now, at the time I'm recording this, we're a little less than a month away from when people can start signing up. I just feel like required not to try to spread negativity, but to try to speak from a place of, from working in the field, not specifically with this program, but basically I just want to say that I hope it's a good program. I hope it works well. But oftentimes when they have programs as such that are limited, I mean, if you think about it, it's limited for a month for the United States. And a lot of people might be getting involved with this, which is great, but it might not work super quickly, and there might be some kinds of challenges. I'm just saying this because I notice whenever there's a program that opens where there's a funding qualification, where they're trying to help people who don't really have the funds, oftentimes what happens is the programs get swamped really quickly, and then it slows the ability of the people who don't get served first. It slows the next wave of people down, and then, I mean, I don't want to like put negativity on something that hasn't even happened yet, but I honestly have rarely seen services work very quickly and efficiently with systems that include underserved populations of people. Um, Usually, there's some kind of challenges that arise, and I don't want to blame always the companies or the system and whatnot. I don't want to be blaming people for stuff, but I know they try their best. It sounds like a great program for people who need it. I hope it's going to work out as smoothly as possible, but it is possible that there might be some kind of challenges. But I would just say, for the people who want to join it, try as soon as it's opening, try and do it quick. Jump on it right away. Because sometimes even waiting 1 day, 2 days, like I've seen programs for housing, programs for food, things like that, that, get like swamped right away. And, a lot of times if there's a paperwork process, like it sounds like there is, there's going to be some processing time. And if they're, clarifying what kind of financial need a person has to be able to qualify for the service. I mean, people are like reviewing this paperwork, and so it takes time and energy and effort. And I know that there's a lot of people who need these services, so I'm happy that it exists. But I hope that it's going to be as smooth as possible. Let's all send positive vibes out there, positive energy towards this program. But I also, feel an obligation to just speak to the reality of what I have noticed when it comes to these systems. I worked in mental health for a length of time. I'd say if I count my unemployment, it was almost a decade. Not unemployment, but my non-paid employment. What do you call that? When I was in practicum, basically. Practicums, multiple practicums. Um, so yeah. But let's hope it works out. It sounds like a cool deal. Let me get to this book. We're almost done. So let's see. I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to do them quick. I'm going to look at the quotes for 2 days because I skipped one of the days. And they're not that hard to go through, so I'll just go through them anyways. Let's see. I'm trying to see what day I stopped at. For me, honestly, things are kind of blending together a little bit. So I think we're doing days 23 and 24. But it might be 24, 25. I'm just going to read 23, 24 because I don't remember reading. I think I'm on 24, 25 actually. Let me see. I need to check something because I think I sent a copy of the last thing I read to somebody. So let me just check on that. You know how it is. I gotta scroll through all the messages. Oh my gosh. So okay, there's that. Bear with me. Just a few seconds, sorry. Let me see if I can even find it. Maybe I didn't send it. I thought I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is taking longer than I thought. I'm just looking for quotations. Because I think I typed it out and shared it with somebody. Oh my goodness. Maybe not. I could be so wrong. Oh, looks like I didn't really send it. So, anyways. Well, I'm gonna do 24, 25 because I think that's where I left off. But, let's see. Alright. So the quote for day 24, we are who we practice to be. So if you practice gratitude, you'll be grateful. This quote comes from Joe Dispenza. And for that day, the task states, as you go through today, practice who you want to be. And then for day 25, a belief is only a thought I keep thinking. Abraham Hicks. And it says, as you go through today, take time to acknowledge the work you are doing and celebrate that. So we'll talk about those quotes a bit, but alright, so I don't really have a morning reflection. I think my intention for today, though, when I woke up, was try to feel good. I don't know if I shared this too much yet, but so yesterday I microdosed some psilocybin, and it went very well. It was a microdose morning. I felt nearly perfect all day. The only exception to how I felt was the amount of sleep. For yesterday, the amount of food I ate. Okay, so when I microdose, or when I have psilocybin at all, but when I microdose, even, I don't eat. Like, I usually have it on an empty stomach, so it's like first thing in the morning. I believe it was 8:45 a.m. or so. And then from there, we did so let me see, 8:45 a.m. It started kicking in around 9:15 a.m. And then I ordered lunch. It was so I skipped breakfast and ordered lunch, and ate like an early lunch and had some Korean food. And the only thing was that the kimchi and all the spices and everything, all the, it kind of makes my gut a bit like feeling unpleasant. And, you know, psilocybin does that too, but in a different way. So I did have a lot of intestinal discomfort for a lot of yesterday and some of today, but it wasn't like severe pain. It was just like, how it is. The body was ridding itself of all kinds of things because of the spices, because of all kinds of stuff. Um, but it does tend to have a bit of a stimulating impact, and so um, I didn't actually sleep well. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly why, but I was up late, and then I could have slept earlier, but I decided to do some writing, and I took like an extra 50 minutes to do that, and then was up late, and then basically after being up late, I woke up early this morning, and I felt terrible this morning. It wasn't. So I had a headache. I've had a headache since like Sunday or something, last Sunday or something. I've had a headache for almost like a week. So it's really annoying. And then, so yes, I wasn't okay with that headache. Like, I'd say in general, ever since I left town Sunday through Thursday, I was feeling pretty lame Sunday through pretty much Wednesday for the most part. And Thursday I felt pretty good. Friday felt pretty good. Today's Saturday when I'm recording this. I felt good by like 2 p.m., but that's because I rested a lot today. So I woke up probably around 6:40 a.m. I started getting up around 7:40 a.m. and was like, I don't really feel like cooking breakfast, or like, this is the second day I felt like I don't really want to cook breakfast and start my day because I was tired, so I didn't really want to. So that's not too normal for me to not want to cook breakfast. It's one of my favorite meals of the day, and usually I'm like, whoa, what's up, if I don't want to like get up for breakfast. So, and I know that I can't go like for hours and hours and hours without breakfast because then I just don't feel good. And so, yeah, like today I kind of woke up like that too. Kind of woke up like, I don't want to cook breakfast, and then, microdosed less, like half of what I microdosed yesterday. And then, there's only so much microdosing can do. I mean, I didn't sleep well, had a headache, my stomach was doing all kinds of weird stuff before even microdosing because of all the kimchi and other spicy types of stuff that I ate from the day before. And the day before I ate, maybe around, I think I finished eating around noon. So that meal was like really impacting me all the way until pretty much this morning. And then even, well, a little bit around dinner today because I ate some of the soon tofu soup. It was a beef soon tofu soup. Um, it's got a little bit of spices, but not like too much. I didn't add any of the other like chili sauce or anything like that. But anyways, it was just there were little. It was minor unpleasantness, but I was pretty tired this morning, and because I was up late, woke up early, and then um, I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna go back to sleep. So, and yeah, I did take a little bit of CBD, um, and a small amount of THC, probably like 2 milligrams or so of THC. Um, and I did, yeah, so, because I thought maybe it would counter the kind of like slight stimulating effect of the psilocybin. I wanted to see if it would, but I don't think it really did. Um, like around 10:30, I kind of rested a little bit, but basically I listened to a lot of this Sadhguru episode with Joe Rogan. Um, like I didn't listen to all of it, maybe like an hour of it or something. I listened to a lot of bird singing, powwow music, and watched this like hour-long powwow documentary that had a lot of the drumming and chanting in the video. And so like by the time I was done with all that, it was like multiple hours like past lunchtime. I did have lunch. I ate kind of around the same schedule, but maybe a little earlier. I think I finished eating maybe just before 12. So, well, I started eating at like 11, like a few minutes after 11. So maybe I stopped eating around 11:30. So it was a pretty early first. It was an early lunch, but a late first meal again today. And then, like I said, for supper, well, I started doing some podcasting around 2 p.m. today. Had a little bit of C4, like a third of a scoop of C4, around 1:30, and then that's why around, like I didn't want to relax and rest and try to be sleeping all day. Like by the time it was almost 2, I was like, man, I'm not gonna sleep anyways, so might as well get up and like do something. And so I kind of got up and uh, uh, yeah, did some podcasting and researching on some stuff, and then some writing and stuff. And then by that time it was like 4:30. I started to prepare that soon tofu soup with some leftover rice and some boiled eggs and salad. And then watched a little bit of a movie with my mom. And then by around 6:45 p.m. or so, I was heading to the gym. I only stayed till about 8 p.m. and then, at the gym I was just kind of doing like some, lifting, a little bit of cardio, a little bit of lifting, a little bit of sauna, and then came back, had a protein shake. I have this Orgain protein powder, so I just had that, and then kind of went on with my evening. Watched the rest of that movie with my mom, even though she saw the rest of it. Like I left during that movie because I told her, I was like, sometimes I'm just not into watching movies. Like it's too long. I don't want to take like 2 hours, 2.5 hours out of my day to like sit and watch something unless I really want to see it, and then to have to watch it, and like, sometimes I just don't want to do anything. And so like I don't want to do that. Like sometimes I'd rather just do creative stuff. And then like just mostly writing, listening to lectures, stuff like that. I did a lot of that yesterday. like at least 2-3 hours of that yesterday, and it was really fun. But yeah, today was a struggle. But hey, I got up, went to the gym. I am feeling kind of tired. You can probably tell by the way I sound. I probably don't sound like super energetic, but I'm in a good mood. Now I am in a good mood, but I wasn't really in the best of moods earlier. But slowly, I mean, the listening to the powwow music and the bird singing and stuff like that, that always makes me feel better. But I think I spent maybe about 2 hours, 2.5 hours listening to that kind of stuff. And I did notice I felt slightly better when I started listening to that. Um, like, I don't know, I think it does have some kind of healing properties to it. I'm pretty sure. Because it just makes me a little bit more blissed out usually. But if I'm if I'm not feeling too well, there's only so much I can do to feel better. But the caffeine really kind of helped. um, but yeah, if I'm lacking sleep, that is a big main, um, what do you call it? Like it's a big main area that can't really be overlooked and skipped. Like it's just like with food and sleep and stuff like that. Like some things we can't just like skip or just not do them very well. Like there's only so many days of losing sleep. And I have been not having good sleep since probably, I mean, tomorrow's gonna be like a week of like, I had a cup, like maybe, I feel like Wednesday night I slept really good. Um, and then I don't remember if I slept well Thursday night. I don't remember that at all. And I'm probably going to sleep pretty good tonight, but yeah, I usually don't have that many consecutive days or that many days lately where my sleep is so poor, but lately my sleep is just bad. I've been feeling just not good. I haven't been getting enough exercise either, so that really impacts me not sleeping good. And then I wasn't super pleased with how the snowboarding trip went. I don't even want to talk about it. Um, but I wasn't pleased about it. I just, had a lot going on internally during that time, and it just was not ideal. I don't know. I don't know if people can relate, but sometimes there are those hobbies or interests that are like that have a challenging component to them, and so everything kind of needs to align for it to kind of work out pretty good. And it just wasn't aligning. Like my sleep wasn't good. I had a headache. It was just all this other stuff going on where I was just like, man. And I had some pretty gnarly anxiety, which was just like, I don't know what it is, but I get this kind of weird energy about snowboarding sometimes, and it's not uncommon because it happened to me last year too. And I think sometimes I go snowboarding when I'm already overwhelmed, haven't been really managing every single thing, and then I just like run up to the mountains, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like all this stuff starts just like unloading, and so that's not really helpful. But it all passes. It's just a natural part of things. Like I have plenty of opportunities to go back. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna go up during the weekdays of like Valentine's Day, and like I'm thinking of going up like the 13th through, I don't know, like spend like 3 or 4 days there. I don't know yet though. That's a lot of money, but I also have the time. I have the time and the money to do it, but it might be too soon. I don't know if it's too soon. Um, like I'm hesitant because it feels a little too soon. Just because I don't know if all the other stuff is fully resolved from whatever's been going on with me lately. Because I'm still not even like sleeping too great. And I'm also not being very disciplined with my sleep. I'm staying up late, watching stuff online. Uh, you know, I've been reasonable with the caffeine. Um, Try and keep it minimal. So, all right. So today I'm grateful for um, what do you call it? Not new opportunities, but like the everyday. Every day brings potential for um, things to shift into a better situation. So, I'm grateful that today um, the day turned around into a decent evening. Um, and today, what I wanted to achieve, just mostly I wanted to be able to feel good and do things that would make me, that would feel like I, that would make me feel like things are improving for me. And that is happening a little bit. Like, the gym helped a lot. And I ate well and did a little socializing, but I don't know. I've I've really been preferring just staying pretty isolated lately. Um, Morning brain dump. How am I feeling this morning? I already talked about how I felt this morning and why. And the way that I shifted it basically was having a little bit of caffeine and then getting up and going to the gym. I did a little cleaning too. I threw my laundry in the washer. I need to dry it, but it's washed now, so that's one thing. And then I did my version of doing my nails, which is just clipping them. It's not that much. Conditioned my hair a lot. Um, um, yeah. And then my favorite part about the day was basically how I started feeling once the C4 kicked in, really. I talked about a lot of the things I've accomplished. Tomorrow, I want to go to the gym again, a different gym. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the same gym. I don't know. I kind of like the bikes, the cycles with the wider seats, because they don't hurt my butt as much. And the other gym has those cycles, but they're old machines, and so like if you put the resistance too high and kind of like push, but you're going too slow, it just like shuts off, and then you have to start over again. So I don't really use those stats to track what I'm doing anyways, and it's like this weird, sometimes I forget which method to go by, so you're like clicking all these buttons, and it's like trying to get you to like put in your weight and your age and your height and like all this stuff. But I don't like doing all that because it usually shuts off like 2 or 3 times during every workout. And so it's like goodness. And so I don't know, but I mean, it's still, I'm still getting in the resistance workout and everything, the cardio. It's just sometimes I'm like, how long was I doing this? And then like the watch and everything, I use the watch for tracking, but sometimes it doesn't sync to the app. It's just like a whole thing. I'm just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, tomorrow, I mean, it's been some days since I've worked on my online stuff, so I want to do that tomorrow. And then I've got to make sure my laundry's dry tomorrow. And then might be enough. That might be enough for tomorrow. Um, I don't need to overcomplicate things. Uh, Tonight I'm sending love to. I had somebody in mind actually, and I forgot who it was. I think it was like a group of people. Um, I don't remember. I'm just gonna say my friends, my family friend, and his family in New Zealand. Um, and yeah, so okay, so with the quote, for day 24, where it says as you go through today, practice who you want to be. I think that's very powerful. And that quote that says, "We are who we practice to be." So if you practice gratitude, you'll be grateful. Gratitude is a very strong practice. It really helps to put things into perspective. And it can be easy to forget to do that. And I think that's kind of what I like about this workbook, is that it kind of takes me out of my normal like ways of thinking on things or whatever. I kind of just like that, and so I'm excited about things a little bit more after I read, these short chapters. And the end of this episode, I'm going to talk about day 25, where they say, as you go through today, take time to acknowledge the work you are doing and celebrate that. A belief is only a thought I keep thinking. And did I say that quote already by Abraham Hicks? My memory is really faulty. So, for someone to celebrate the work that they're doing and acknowledge it, it's like sometimes you don't really acknowledge, you don't really acknowledge the work that you do, or like for example, this isn't like a brag or anything. Like I'm by no means in any kind of shape that I want to be in. But I was using I don't even know what it's called, where you're kind of like, it's for your legs, where you're kind of like pushing on this foot. You put your feet kind of up and push. It's almost like you're doing squats, but you're sitting. And I guess I was sitting there. I don't know if I was on my phone or what. And I've been spacey for a while, obviously, because I've been consuming a lot of things and not sleeping and just all over the place for a while now. And then this lady comes up, this older lady, and she's like, "Hey, are you gonna be done soon?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm pretty much done now, So I just like stand up. I'm like, "Go ahead," like I wasn't like held to that machine or anything. I was just kind of like, "Yeah, whatever," and tried to just be polite and nice. And she looked at, I think I had it on like 140 pounds or something, and she was like, "Oh, you're doing really good," and I was like, oh, like maybe, I was like, okay, like enjoy your workout or whatever I said, and then just kind of walked away. But I looked back on that and I was like, yeah, I should have just said thank you. I've been trying or whatever. Like I feel like, you know, she made a nice comment, and I kind of downplayed that maybe I was doing good at that exercise, like, because it was like the resistance was pretty high for me, anyways, and you know, so maybe I shouldn't have like dismissed it. Like I didn't completely dismiss it, but I kind of kept it a little neutral. I was like, maybe, I don't know if I said maybe or like sort of, but like I could have been like, taking a more positive spin on it, really, and just stuff like that, you know, not really looking so much at the negative. And the other day, I mean, I said that was the last thought, but I guess this is something that's maybe important to me, anyways. The other day, um, I was like laying there um, in the hotel, and I was just like, you know, uh, you need to be kind to yourself, you know. And the reason why that comes up is because I was like, when I'm thinking about like acknowledging things that I do good, I do notice that I tend to kind of be negative lately. I'm not always negative, but I'm particularly quite more negative than I feel like I've had more negative days and time periods lately than what's like normal for me. Like every so often, yeah, but I mean, like I have had a lot of days where I haven't been feeling super wonderful. I've really been staying in too much and not getting out as much as I should. Just, I love getting out of the house and going to do stuff. And, I don't really need to save that much money, like, but I don't really want to go out and get in a habit of just like spending on stuff. And every time, I leave the house, unless I'm just walking somewhere, it's going to cost something. Like, I don't live too close to anything where I can just like easily go. I live about, I mean, I could walk to the beach in like 45 minutes or so. It's under an hour to walk there. But it's like, and it's kind of just far enough that if I'm in a lazy mood, I'm not going to do it. Um, and that's the closest place to me. There's like coffee shops and all kinds of like little restaurants and stuff right there. That's the closest place I could walk where I would want to actually hang out. Um, but just stuff like that where I'm just like, I start looking at like, oh, I could have gone and done this, or I could have like done this other thing, and I've noticed that I've, been, lounging around a lot, and part of me feels like, okay, I need to, and then another part of me is like, I don't really get a lot out of that, and I think it really has been affecting my sleep too, because it's like I'm not doing enough in the day to really be like wearing myself out. Like I'm not sleeping all day really. I'm actually not sleeping that much. Like I'm sleeping, but probably about 6 hours a night or so, and then like waking up maybe once or twice in the night, and so it's not really like a full 8 hour sleep, and I don't really nap that easily. Um, but yeah, I did think the other day I was like, I need to be kind to myself, because I'm kind of being hard on myself. Um, like I'm not going overboard on it and being like, oh, I should have done this better kind of thing, but like it's kind of like easy for me to see what I'm not doing well at, and it's kind of like right in front of my face, and that's kind of how it feels. It's like it's right there, but I'm kind of like also not doing all the things I need to do. Like I'm not being very disciplined about it. I'm just kind of like, I know I need the sleep, but I'll just deal with how I feel tomorrow. I know I need to eat healthy, but I'll just deal with how I feel later on. I know I need to exercise, but I'll just deal with not doing it, later. I'll just deal with feeling like creaky and stiff, I'll deal with that, um, and, you know, and those are the small, like, those are the major things, but they're kind of like small things that make a big difference, if that makes sense. Um, but I have been tending to what I what I have an interest in intellectually. I've been tending more to like the intellectual stuff than the physical. Like, so I've been more like cognitively motivated, but not like physically and like socially and just spontaneously just motivated by things. I'm more so motivated about stuff I've been learning, all kinds of stuff, like about like ancient cultures and Gobekli Tepe and all these other places and topics, the Egyptian pyramids and all these other kinds of things that I've been looking at all these like theories, and I find them in a way motivating to think that a lot of us are part of these lineages where there were all these ancient people doing all these cool things, and that's part of our heritage, as part of our own bloodlines, all the way up to the year 2023, where it just shows the type of power that we have in our own bloodlines. Like if you're from Turkey or from Africa or from like wherever you're from, a lot of us have ancestors that did a lot of things. And sometimes it's like, okay, when the world feels a little difficult or challenging, it can be good to look like zoom way out. And for me, that's one way of doing it. It's to kind of look at just like humans and stuff that's like relevant to my own culture and like other stuff like that. And then like I'm not from Turkey or anything, but like other types of stuff. But yeah, sometimes it takes like looking at some astronomical, like some astronomy findings, and thinking about the universe, and like just thinking about things that are bigger. Like, I'm not saying that problems aren't real or that ignore the problems or try to just like ignore it, but sometimes it's like lately it's like I can describe what's going on, like, for me, and it's not something that I'm like always willing to work on, even though I see the problem right in front of my face. I'm not being disciplined about it, and I'm just kind of like, I just want to do what I want to do, like leave me alone, you know. And it's not really working well for me, but I can change it at any time. Just like today, I just was like, all right, let me like get something done, enough of this, like let me just get something done, and sometimes just that mentality alone is like enough to kind of like, perk stuff up. And yeah, caffeine is a struggle too, but sometimes it helps to just like get the ball rolling. And so I think I'm gonna have to like say this so that I'll maybe do it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna get up, have my coffee before breakfast. Actually, I think tonight before I go to bed, I'm gonna prepare the coffee and put it next to my bed so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna freaking drink the coffee and I'll feel just ready. I'm gonna put a little MCT oil in it and it'll be ready to go. I'm kind of weird with like water bottles, and I kind of, drink a water bottle and then I just, put stuff in it. Like the coffee's in the fridge. It's left over from like McDonald's or some random coffee, like, but I'm just gonna pour it into a water bottle, and it'll be fine for 8 hours sitting at my bedside. Like I do that kind of stuff all the time. And then put some MCT8 oil in it, and it'll help my brain, it'll help my energy first thing in the morning, and then I don't think I'll have any issues with like getting up, making breakfast, and then it'll just start the day off good. I've still got a perfect bar on my bedside table, and yeah, like I think I boiled 2 extra eggs because I had 2 eggs with that soon tofu, and I boiled 2 extra ones, and so yeah, like I think I need to do some financial planning tomorrow too. Actually, there's something I need to figure out. I got another income stream, a small one, and I just need to do some math on it because I don't like getting money where I don't have plans for it, where I'm not like, okay, I know where this needs to go. Like, I don't like just getting money and just be like, all right, like, spend it, you know. It's like I haven't touched a cent of it, and so I'm like, you know, seeing if I want to invest it in some just invest it in some method or another. I need to take time to think about that, but that's probably what I'll do in the morning, and then I think that's a good plan. And then, so it's almost 11:30 p.m. now. I'm gonna I'll post this tonight, and then when I wake up, I'll post one in the morning. I'm not gonna do you guys like that and post this at midnight and then have you guys have to wait. So yeah, I'll post another one, but yeah, I mean, I hope this doesn't sound like negative. I'm not trying to sound like a downer, but I mean, I gotta be real. Like, not every day is perfect for me, and nobody has perfect days every day, but I mean, I'm trying. I'm not like trying not to express what's going on too. Like, I'm not trying to be like acting like I've got it all figured out, you know, but sometimes I just live in undisciplined style for a little bit and suffer the consequences of it, and it does lead to a little bit of physical discomfort. Like, I do notice a lot of physical tension when I haven't slept very good. So yeah, I want to make sure I'm like sleeping really well. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure I do that. But so that's it for now, and thanks for listening.